wherever you're joining in from, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. It's a pleasure to have you today on this webinar. It's a joy to have this webinar. We've been having it since January this year, and this is almost 6 months we've been on this webinar every Thursday. And it is called the Training Transfer Effectiveness Webinar Series. The Training Transfer Effectiveness Webinar Series. And if you can see my slide, I'm saying the Training Transfer Effectiveness journey continues/begins. And why do I put that? Now, we have people that tend to join the webinar newly every week as they hear, as the awareness is being created, and they hear about it and they join. So looking at those on ground, I have new people joining in today. So I have Castro joining in, Brian. I also have Daniel just joining in. I also have Mary joining in, and someone just joined in. My Grace, yes. So these are new people. Top there came with his AI note taker joined in, and so for him we would say your journey continues. So for those joining in today for the first time, if you're watching this webinar video on our YouTube channel, something, please drop our YouTube channel on the link on the chat box for people to take it. So it's M Brian Consulting. So just check us on YouTube, M Brian, M.BRYAN Consulting. Check us out on YouTube. For those that will be watching this video, check us out on YouTube. Okay, so for those just watching the video, we say, or joining in, we say the journey begins. And for those who have been joining in, we say the journey continues. So it's a series on which we build up every week. So I will enjoin you, if you're joining in for the first time here live and you're just watching the video for the first time, please go back. Go and watch the videos. We have over 21 videos. Yes, you heard me right. Over 21 videos. So go and watch the videos because it's a build up. If you do not watch the video, you may not be able to, you would have lost out some things. So we always advise you watch the video. However, I came up with a new strategy today. We decided that for every Thursday, because we see people join in newly every week, we will let people understand what TTE means, because that is what we are all about. This is a TTE movement, Training Transfer Effectiveness movement. And so because we don't want our new joiners to feel left behind when they join the call, we will always explain what TTE means in every webinar going forward. So for those that are watching it and you see it explained there, maybe you already know what it means, you can forward it. Yeah, you can fast forward. However, we are doing this for our new joiners so that they will not be left behind. They would understand what we are talking about. So going forward, we would always talk about what does TTE mean, Training Transfer Effectiveness. And so today we are talking about, so in every webinar, you will gain something, However, for deeper depth, you need to watch the videos, because I cannot, what I taught in January, what I talked about in January, what I talked about in February, coming back to say it again, we are building, because people are using this in their various organizations and giving us great feedbacks. So today we are talking about the 5 conversations every strategic L&D partner must have before training begins. Now, that I say L&D partner doesn't mean, so for instance, in some organizations, those who take care of their L&D are the HR, right? So if you're the HR in your organization and you are in charge of your L&D, that's fine. So it's already your role. So see yourself as the L&D partner. And that's why I'm not just saying HR, because this is the L&D's work. However, some organizations, it's the HR that does the L&D path, so that does the L&D part, so it's okay. And if you are maybe an entrepreneur, you're a trainer, you should be a strategic L&D partner to the clients you're dealing with. So this webinar is catering for both trainers, training providers, and the practitioners, the L&D practitioners in the business. So the 5 conversations every strategic L&D partner must have before training begins is what we're going to be looking at. So let's move ahead to welcome again. Welcome. So glad you're here. What we usually do Our culture, our routine, what we do here is we introduce ourselves. So please type into chat. I'll give you some few seconds, 20 to 30 seconds. Type into chat. Tell us three things. One, your name. Two, where you're joining in from. And three, your role in your organization. I'll take that again. Your name, where you're joining in from, and your role in your organization. Those are the three things I'm waiting to hear from you. So I'll take a chill pill now and just wait for some seconds to allow you to type it into chat, and so that we can welcome you officially. And because this is not physical, this is not live, physical live, it takes time for people to respond, to type in. So I will be patient. I'll wait patiently while I allow people to type into chat. So I'll be checking the chat box. What are the people we have here today? What's your name? I already ruled out your name. Where are you joining in from? And what's your role in your organization? Please feel free to type in. And while we are at that, just like I said, so glad you are here. So while we are at that, let me put the next slide. I'm the Oracle. I'm Africa's leading voice on training transfer effectiveness. And what does that mean? I'm the voice crying out in the wilderness. I'm the voice saying that for every training investment, let there be return on investment and return on expectation, ROI and ROE. I've been shouting it now, clamoring, and I've been going to different African countries. I was in Ghana in June. We did a breakfast meeting, sensitization in Nigeria. I was in Ghana in May. We did a sensitization in Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria in June. Next month, August 14 precisely, we are going to Rwanda to do that. Then September, I think 11 or 13, I'm not too sure again. Precisely, we are doing that in Kenya. Yeah. And we hope to go to Tanzania, Uganda, Zambia, all the African countries. So I'm going around the African countries, sensitizing people on how to help them show return on investment and return on expectations for all. And I did not say some, I mean all their training investment. Yes, you heard me say all your training investment. You can really show it. And so I'm an ex-banker. I started my banking career in 1999. Yes. Looking at the face, she looks so young, right? I like that. I started my banking career in 1999 in the then Citizens International Bank in Lagos, Nigeria. And the other stories. I'm a CEO now of the organization where I work. I'm the CEO there. I'm the servant leader. I call myself the servant leader. Brand Consulting Limited is a human capital development organization that is focused entirely on TTE, training transfer. Okay, let me say focus entirely on transfer. Then I cannot break it. Transfer, because we do training, we do coaching, and we do mentoring, and we do HR consulting. So for every service we render, we are high on transfer application. So we're high on application. And so one of the things we are doing now is we decided to focus on training for the next 5 years, from now 2025 to 2030, working with businesses to show transfer effectiveness, application of every of their training investments. I'm a mother of 5 children, 3 beautiful boys and 2 lovely girls. I'm an IFC Global Master Trainer. IFC stands for International Finance Corporation. So it's a sister arm of the World Bank. So I work with them. I am a Global Master Trainer. I help them to train staff. I help them to train trainers. Yeah, that's what I do. We certify those trainers. I do the FFF. We certify those trainers that they have the right competencies to be able to train. Yeah, so that's what I do with the IFC. Then I'm also a certified assessor with the LPI. LPI is a Learning Performance Institute in the UK. So what does that mean? LPI and IFC work together. So they came together and decided to certify trainers and give them the right competences with international standard to train globally, right? So that's what I do. So I certify trainers globally, saying that they have the right competencies to train, because training is not just training. We are trainers, but we facilitate. So giving them the right competencies to be able to facilitate that training. So that's what I do with the IFC and the LPI. I'm also a transfer enabler for Africa. So I work with the Institute for Transfer Effectiveness. The Institute for Transfer Effectiveness is in Switzerland, and they developed one of the frameworks we use as an organization. It's called the 12 levers of transfer effectiveness. We are all about transfer in our company. So I am their African partner. So I go around Africa certifying practitioners, HR L&D practitioners, trainers, certifying them to have, and they become what we call the certified transfer designer, to be able to design training that would show transfer. That's what I do with the Institute. I'm Nigeria's first certified transfer designer. So in Nigeria, I'm the first person. In Africa, I'm not the first, but in Nigeria, I'm the first person. I'm also a resource person with the Lagos Business School in Lagos, Nigeria. Here, I teach in the organizational behavior and HR department. I teach on leadership. Yeah. Basically, I teach on leadership. I'm a certified transformational coach. I'm also a certified team and group coach. I'm also a certified Kirkpatrick professional. What does that mean? Just like I said, we are all about transfer. And so because we are all about transfer, I ensure that I develop the skills, the competences, the certification to serve you people. And please don't think I'm blowing my trumpet. You needed to know these introductions, to know that you're in the right place, to let you know that you're in safe hands, to let you know that you're in somebody's hand that has not just the years of experience, also has the education and has the certification, have the skills, have the knowledge. So you're in safe hands. And that's why I'm doing this, for you to know. So I'm a certified Kirkpatrick professional, bronze level. Right now, I'm undergoing the silver level, after which I'll go to the gold level. All these things are money. I'm paying for it for myself. So I'm not, even though I'm doing this, I'm not resting on my OAS. I am still learning and developing myself. And lastly, I've been a teacher and trainer for the past 26 years. Yes, both formally and informally. And those are the other certifications I hope to get between now and next year. The Facilitated Learning by Tom Meyer, which is by the Center for Facilitated Learning in USA. I should be getting that by end of this year. Why the other? I'll be getting that next year. So that's what it is. And so let's move on. I think I see new persons joining in. I'm so happy to see you people joining. And I see people responding to telling us where they're coming in from. So I see, okay, this is Castro. Castro says, my name is Castro Odongo. I'm an HR practitioner, but still schooling, and I've joined from Kenya, and I'm happy to be here. You are very ripe. Yes, Castro, you're very ripe. When I say you're very ripe, because we want people to start learning even now. So welcome. For those joining us in for the first time, please type into chat 3 things: your name, where you're joining in from, and your role in your organization. I'll take that again. Your name, where you're joining in from, the country you're joining in from, then 3, your role in your organization. And I'll come out and read it, please. I'll come back to read it while I continue. Doris from Ghana. Hi, Doris. Doris is one of our oldest webinar attendees. Doris, we are so glad to have you back here again. Doris is joining in from Ghana. Thank you, Doris. Now, by the way, Doris is in our program, in our mastermind. So maybe I'm going to give Doris like 1 minute later towards the end to tell you about the mastermind. Yes, I'll give her that opportunity. I hope she's not shy. I don't think Doris is shy. She will tell you about the mastermind, why you need to join the cohort 2, because cohort 1 is closed. We're not accepting any other person. Why you need to join the cohort 2. We have Neptune from Kenya, Human Resource and Admin Manager. Welcome, Neptune. So just keep writing where you're from. And so let me go on. Difficult roads lead to beautiful destinations. In this webinar, I try to be practical. Yeah, practical in the sense that I try to be interactive. I know webinar is less interactive than a live training session. I know that because this is what I do. I certify trainers to train online. It's what I do. However, because I'm a person of activity, I love a lot of activity, I try to make even the webinar a bit interactive. So how are we going to make it interactive? Please ensure when I ask questions, please feel free to, even though you don't want to unmute your microphone, type into chat. Like I already see something in chat, which I'm going to read out. I'm very good. I'm already checking my chat. Type into chat. Now, my first question is, difficult roads lead to beautiful destinations. Do you agree with that? What do you think that means? Difficult roads leads to beautiful destination. Is there anybody that wants to try? I have Furaha from Kenya, HR officer. You're welcome, Furaha. It's so nice to have you. Welcome. Is there anybody that wants to try? Difficult roads lead to beautiful destinations. Is there anybody that wants to try? Anybody? Somebody?
Hello, Coach Sandra.
Hi, Doris.
So, even what we are doing now, some of us, we just go back from work tired, stressed, but we still have to be here because we want to improve ourselves. So, the road will be difficult, but we are hopeful that at the end of the day, the end will be beautiful. We improve ourselves, develop ourselves, get better opportunities, and get more cash.
Yay, I love that. The more cash part is the one I love. Doris. I like that part. I love it. Not even like, I love it. I need more cash. I love that part. Thank you so much, Doris. Is there any other person that wants to also try? Is there anybody other person that wants to contribute? Is there any other person? Okay, I can see something on chat. Yes, please go ahead. Mary, please, Mary, go ahead.
They are simply saying suffering makes a man. Hello?
Hello, Mary. Yes. There's a bit of
I'm
noise in your
saying-
background. Yes, okay. Go ahead.
I'm saying it's like saying suffering makes a man.
It's like someone makes a mark. Is that what I heard you say?
Yes.
Yes. Someone makes a
Yeah.
mark, yeah. But the journey of making that
Suffering.
mark,
Yeah, it's through difficulties and suffering.
yes. Thank you so much, Mary. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Samson, we forgot to welcome our people with the tadan. Please don't be forgetting. I forgot. If I forget, don't forget again, Samson, please. This is tadan. We use it to welcome new members, new joinees. So tadan, welcome, 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 everyone. Okay, Castro says, yeah, sure. For you to get a peculiar outcomes, you must die hard and persevere for its sake. Jeez. Die hard, Castro. It's jittery. Yes, you must die hard. Yes, I agree with you. I died hard. I just finished. Let me just tell you people. I like being very practical. I just finished a radio show with Margaret Jackson in Ghana. I joined in from Nigeria here. Margaret Jackson is in Ghana here. It's a radio show about her growth and grind. Wonderful radio show she has on. And she brought me in to speak on fixed mindset and growth mindset. Mainly as I was finishing, I'd already logged in, started up this Zoom. As I was finishing, I was joining. And by the way, I've been working tirelessly. So it's not easy. However, we are looking at the end. So thank you so much, all those that contributed. So let's move ahead now. I'm speaking to those. So this is what we also do every week. Because this webinar is a webinar for application. Whatever we discuss every week, we expect you to apply something, no matter how little it is. And so every week we have this follow-up. What have you applied? So the question we usually ask is, you have to try one practical tip this week and share your experience with us next week, which was last week. So for those that were here last week, what did you try out? Because it doesn't make sense. We've been on this webinar since January this year, and yet nothing has changed. No, it cannot happen. You cannot be in my webinar, nothing has changed. Every week, something must change. Is it that you read a chapter of a book that helped you, like the books I told us we can read, or that what I said, you did something, you decided to take a move, taking a decision, talking to somebody, even inviting somebody, something, right? So those that were here last week, let me see if we have those that were here last week. What one thing would you like to share? Is there anybody that was here last week Welcome, Modukbe Olotu. Welcome. Please introduce yourself, Modukbe, if you don't mind. Please introduce yourself. Welcome, Portia. Portia is our old joiner. Welcome. Please introduce yourself, Portia. Furaha. I think Furaha has introduced themselves. So please, is there anybody that was here last week? I don't think. Sams, is there anybody that was here last week? You can unmute and share. I don't think there's anybody that was here last week. So if not, we can move ahead.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I think it was Emmanuel and Father. So.
Okay. Thank you so much. So let's move ahead. So please take note. If you're all of you that have joined this week, next week I'm going to ask you this question. Yes, I'm going to be asking you what different thing did you do? What practical thing did you exercise? Because you cannot be in a webinar we are teaching about application and you're not applying. It's an error. Yeah. Good. So let's review what we did last week. So this is another strategy I came up with again. I discovered that every week we have new people joining in. And so I don't want you to be left out. And most times those that joined in last week do not come in this week. We have a new set of people joining in, so we decided that let us review the last week before we go into the new week. So that's what we are doing. So last week we talked about being order taker versus strategic partner, what it meant. We talked about rewriting the narratives of being an order taker versus a strategic partner. So last week we found out that, or we know, I'm sure you agree with me, you know that HR, L&D, most of you are order takers. What do I mean? A manager in sales and marketing tells you, I need a training. I need to send my sales officers on a training on selling skills. Straight away, you start shopping for the vendors that will do that training. If it is that for implant, if it's an implant, meaning they are coming to do it in your organization. If it's for open program, you start searching for open programs you send them to. Is that not what happens most often? You are an order taker by doing that. So what we tried to do last week, we said, let us change the narrative. So last week was changing about the narrative. It's letting your people know that now I'm no more an order taker, I'm a strategic partner. I know it's a strategic partner. Instead of the sales manager telling you, I want you to send my staff on sales training, on selling skills, instead of you going immediately to shop for training vendors or sending them on a program outside, instead of doing that, the first thing you do is to have a conversation. Why do you want to send them on a selling skills training? What have you noticed? What is happening? Why are you having this? Have you done this training before? So you're having those conversations. Why? Because you want to help them succeed. You're a strategic partner. You're not just an order taker. So we talked about changing the narrative, and we said that they're going to send emails. Sorry, excuse me, please. Sorry, I'm so sorry about that. So we now said, I think I see a message on chat. Okay, Doris, I'm following you everywhere. Great job with the radio program. Oh, thank you so much, Doris. I sincerely appreciate you. Thank you. You tuned in. Thank you so much. And so we gave an assignment to them and we said, you cannot just go ahead and start telling people. Now we want to start, when they come for training, you start telling them, no, you will not send your people on training. You start having conversation. No. Have a conversation. Let them know. So they drafted an email they were going to be sending out to these people, either a one-on-one conversation or email saying, my name is so. Hello, maybe my staff is Doris. Hello, Doris. Maybe Doris is in the head of manufacturing. Hello, Doris. To help you work better, we've decided there's a new thing we want to start doing. We want to help you to achieve your goals. We want to help you to achieve your departmental objectives. And so we will be having conversations with you when you're requesting for your people to be sent on training. And this is something new we are trying and testing. We would like you to work with us together to ensure that we deliver your departmental objectives. and just an email introducing that, so they will start knowing that, see, I'm no man order taker. That you're no man order taker, you're not a strategic partner. You want to work with them, because what a lot of people see HR in the business is, HR is on this fence, the departments are on this fence. Do you agree with me? HR is on this fence, department is on this fence. They are on separate walls, separate ways. And they say, them HR, you HR, you HR, you HR. Do you hear that too? You HR. That's the things we hear, because they don't think you're working with them. And they see us as a cost center. Are you a cost center? I am not a cost center. I don't know about you. Are you a cost center? I don't know about you. I'm not a cost center. I'm a strategic partner. I'm a performance improver. I'm a performance consultant. I'm working with a business to ensure that our 2025 objectives and beyond is achieved. That is who I am as an HR, as an L&D. I'm not just a trainer. I'm not just here to be ticking box, sending you on training, sending you on vacation, approving your leave. No. I'm not just here to smiling shits. You went on training, you come back, you tell us 5/5, the training was nice, the food was beautiful. No, that's not what I am. No more. So we had to start changing the narratives. So this is just a feedback. So next, you can go back and watch the webinar and see what we talked about. So they rewrote their narratives. They sent out messages to shift from messages that shifted them from an order taker to a strategic partner. This week, what are we going to be looking at? We're going to be going deeper this week, and we're going to be looking at those conversations that would make that shift real. Real in actions, not just words. Those conversations that will make that strategic partner we've talked about real. And that's what we'll be looking at this week. And let me just share a bit about last week too. So this was what we looked at: order taker versus strategic partner. An order taker, this is who an order taker is. An order taker waits to be told what training to do. A strategic partner asks if training is even the right solution. An order taker avoids conflict because I don't want their problem. They want to send their people on negotiation training. Let them do it. I don't want issues. I don't have time to start having conversation. You're avoiding conflict. As a strategic partner, you're courageously speaking the truth, saying, no, do they really need negotiation training? Do they really need the Power BI training? Do they really need the Excel training? Do they really need the leadership training? Do they really need it? Those are the conversations you should be having. We also said another taker sends proposal on request. You take proposal. These are for entrepreneurs. You're sending proposal, they reach out to you and say, give us, and you, those who are the practitioners, you reach out to the trainers, give us proposals. No. Instead of asking for proposals, create the solution and align with business goals. Last but not the least, another taker counts attendance. No, you should measure impact. You should not use a smiley sheet. How was it? 1 to 5. The training was very good. The food was nice. The venue was nice. The facilitator was wonderful. No, that's level 1. No more. You don't need that again. You should measure impact as a strategic partner. And we ended, I said, if you want transfer effectiveness, you must start by rewriting your identity in your organization. So that was what we did last week. The people that came to that webinar, they rewrote their identity. And I need you to go and watch that webinar and start rewriting your identity in your organization. Rewrite it from an order taker to a strategic partner. Okay, so let's move on to what we have for this week. Today, what are our objectives? By the end of today's webinar, you will be able to identify the 5 strategic conversations that must happen before any training is approved or designed. Before any training is approved or designed. Secondly, you should be able to distinguish between taking training requests and diagnosing business needs. And last but not the least, you should be able to apply at least one of these conversations to influence a real training request in your organization. Here, application has started. I'm going to share with you 5 strategic conversations that must happen before training is approved or designed. And you should be able to at least apply at least one of them. Between now and next week Thursday, we'll meet. Just one. You need to apply. So those are our objectives for today's session. What is our roadmap? How are we going to achieve those objectives? This is how we're going to achieve it. Q&A. Please ask questions, because when you ask questions, it resolves every uncertainty, brings clarity to you. Interactions, which is what I'm already doing. I would ask you questions. I will ask you to reflect. I will pause, help you to reflect so you can start applying it, even here, noting down things you would apply. And last but not the least, tell us your next line of action. What will be your next line of action for improvement? Those are the way we're going to achieve our objectives. Now, we also took a decision again as an organization in order to ensure this webinar is effective for those joining in for the first time. Okay, let me ask to know if the decision we took is right. If you're just joining this webinar for the first time, have you ever heard of training effectiveness, training transfer, or training transfer effectiveness? Which of them have you heard of? And do you know what it means? Training transfer effectiveness is the movement we are on now as a business, as an Africa's leading voice on training transfer effectiveness. That's what we are on. Have you heard about training transfer effectiveness? If you're just joining us for the first time, who wants to go for this? Let me know if we took the right decision on what we want to do. We decided that every week Thursday we'll talk about this briefly before we go into what we have for the day, to help those that are just joining for the first time follow through and not be lost. Those joining in for the first time, that's why I'm not calling Doris. Doris knows already. Doris, I'm not calling you. You know already. So those joining us for the first time, and Portia knows. Portia, I don't want to hear you too. Portia knows what it means. Those joining us for the first time, do you know what training transfer effectiveness means? When you see me looking the other side, please, I'm using two screens. I'm using one, I'm using to present, and the other one to watch what is happening. So please permit me. Brian, Daniel, Modupeb, don't feel I'm calling you out, please. Castro said, I've heard of training effectiveness. Awesome. Okay, thank you, Castro. Do you know what it means? And have you heard of training transfer effectiveness? Do you know what training effectiveness means? Do you know what it means? Do you know what it means? Okay, Mary says it's not very clear to me. Thank you so much, Mary. Thank you for being sincere, and thank you for being very vulnerable and sincere. Thank you so much. Okay, so that means we took the right decision. Yay! Samson, can you give us a clap? We took the right decision. Give the clapping hand. So Brian says, I've heard of it, but never actually took any interest on the subject. Awesome. We took the right decision. Now, every week from today, we are going to be reviewing what we did the webinar before, and we'll also be talking about what training effectiveness means, training transfer means, and what training transfer effectiveness means, because that is the foundation of our webinar. That is the foundation of the movement we are on, going around every African country. That is the foundation of what we are teaching and telling you to start doing. That is the foundation of showing return on investment and return on expectation for every of your training investment. Yes, you got me right. You heard me right. Training transfer effectiveness is the foundation to show ROI and ROE for every of your training investments. Now, what does it mean? Just quickly, because of time, I will not elaborate because I'm looking at the time. I have just 39 minutes and I'm just starting. So I'm not going to elaborate on it. Please, so permit me, just go and watch the webinar to get the full. I used one webinar to explain all this. What is training effectiveness? Training effectiveness is the extent or the degree to which training is successful in producing the desired results. That's what training effectiveness is. The extent, for instance, so I love giving examples. I like being practical. So for instance, you send, I saw that there's somebody in customer service. I don't know if it is Brian or Nepto. I can't remember. Please forgive me. So for instance, you sent your staff, employees on a customer service training, right? Maybe your front desk people, you send them on a customer service training. And at the end of the session, you agreed one of the objective of the training is, at the end of the training, they should be able to explain the difference between internal customers and external customers. I was just trying to be practical. That's what I was trying to reflect. The difference between internal customers and external customers. I know you know they are not the same thing. The internal customers and external customers. And at the end of the training, you did an evaluation, post evaluation, then after the training, and they got it. They were able to, they even used the role play to show you the difference between internal customer and external customer. The training has been effective. Whenever you're able to meet your training objectives, that is training effectiveness. The training was effective. So for instance, if one of the objectives was to ensure that all those in the training, when they do post evaluation, they score a minimum of 80%. When they do the evaluation, post evaluation, maybe like a test, they score a minimum of 80%. And when you do it and you see people, most people are scoring 90, 95, 100, 85. You clap for yourself. You've achieved the objective of that training. That is what training objective is. And that is what Kirkpatrick, so if you have not heard of this, please go and Google it and go. That's also what the models I developed, the foundation I built it on. The 4 levels of Kirkpatrick 4 levels of evaluation. Yes. Kirkpatrick 4 levels of evaluation. If you're in HR and L&D and you don't know about that, it's an error. Go and know about it, use it and start using it. That's what we've been using, and that's where I built the models on. I didn't need to reinvent the wheel. So this is what training effectiveness is, what we call level 1 and level 2. The reaction and the knowledge. Did they get the knowledge? Yes. Did they get the skills? Yes. So the training was successful. We produced the desired result. That's what training effectiveness is. Now, let's go to training transfer. What does training transfer mean? Training transfer is the extent to which the trainees effectively apply the acquired knowledge and the skills from the training, and they demonstrate the desired behavior at the workplace. I hope you're now seeing the difference now. So the training transfer is these things we've taught them in the training. We expect that when they get back to the business, to the organization, the behavior, they apply it and there's a change in the behavior. They demonstrate the desired behavior we want to see in the workplace. They demonstrate it. The knowledge and the skills, they go back to apply it. This is what training transfer is. Now, let me give you another example again, also using the customer service application. So for instance, one of the behavior we wanted them to do is when people come into the organization, they say, good morning, sir, or good morning, ma. You're welcome to Brand Consulting Limited. How may I help you? That is the greeting we want them to be doing. And that training, a day later, 2 weeks later, we go and they're applying it. They did it. They used it. You come to Brand and say, good morning, good afternoon, sir. Let's say it's afternoon. Good afternoon, sir. You're welcome to Brand Consulting Limited. How may I help you? They've done it. That is training transfer. They were able to apply those behavior because we found out that when people come into the Brand Consulting, clients come in, they don't greet them. Or they just say, good morning. What do you want us to do for you today? And the management is like, no way, we can't have that. No way. We're a service organization. When they come, this is the way we want them to be greeted, to make the customers feel welcome. And they go on service training and teach them those behaviors. And they did it. Ta-da! Training transfer has taken place. However, what I've found that is a lot of organizations stop in training effectiveness or stop in training transfer. So my years of research, I've been researching for the past 14 years. The models I developed is as a result of 13 years. The past 13 years. That is where it came out from. Now, let me now tell you the difference. I'm sure you're seeing the difference between training effectiveness and training transfer. Now, where is the icing of the cake? Training transfer effectiveness. That's the icing on the cake. It is the extent to which knowledge and skills gained from training. Take note, it was same knowledge and skills in training transfer, right? The same knowledge and skills in training transfer effectiveness. Now see the difference. From training are consistently applied. You can see my consistently is on control B. Yes. Consistently applied on the job in a way that leads to what? Measurable performance, improvements, and business impacts. We don't end there, because there must be sustainability with intentional structures in place to sustain the application over time. Can you see the difference? There must be structures in place to sustain that application. If not, let me tell you, 1 month down the line, I'm sure you agree with me. How many people, please share, ensure you type into chat or raise up your emoticon with your hands up. Let me call you to briefly share with us. You will agree with me, you've sent people on training. The next 1 month, they are doing those things, those behaviors. They are showing those behaviors. They are applying those things. After 2 months, no more. Everybody goes back to the status quo. Is there anybody that, am I just talking to myself? Or is there anybody that agrees with what this has happened before in your organization? Is there anybody that can relate with this? Can you relate with this? Is there anybody that can relate with this? I'm looking at the chat box and looking at the emoticons. Okay, Daniel says yes. Thank you, Daniel. You can relate with it. Yay! That's what happens. So for training transfer effectiveness, it must be sustained. And that's what I'm saying. You want to get impact. You want to add to your bottom line. You want to have an increase. Brian says yes. Thank you, Brian. You want to have an increase. Maybe your revenue was 100 million. Neptune says yes. Thank you, Neptune. Your revenue was 100 million. You want to get to 120 million, 150 million, and you want to get that, you want to get it through training, you must sustain that application. Because they are what we call short-term returns, mid-term, medium-term returns, and long-term returns. These are 3 types of returns. So you must sustain it. Let me give a very clear example for TTA. Now, for the behavior to be sustained, just like the man that was applying it, the customer service, for it to be sustained, you must put structures in place. And what is that? 1, line managers must be there to create that enabling environment for the person to continue to apply. Secondly, there must be tools for the person to apply. Thirdly, the person must be really ready, motivated. Person should motivate himself. So you create a motivating environment. I'm not a motivator that say motivate people. No. You create an enabling environment and people will motivate themselves. So there must be structures in place. And that's what I call about the 6 ecosystem. We talked about the TTE ecosystem. Go and watch the webinar again. Those are the 6 components that must be there if you want to see TTE. So I want to believe this is very clear. Is this very clear so I can go into what we have today? Okay, let me see. I think I see something in chat box. Let's see. I see some things on chat box. Okay, I've attended to it. Are we very clear with the difference between TTE and the difference between training effectiveness, training transfer, and training transfer effectiveness? Yes, thank you, Modube. Modube says yes. Okay, any other person? Daniel, Brian, Mary. Daniel says yes. Thank you very much, Daniel. Mary, what about you? Are you all clear on this? Can I move ahead? Brian says yes. Thank you. Okay, so let's move ahead. So this is very clear for us. And this is just a diagram that explains it. Training effectiveness measures learning and engagement. Training transfer measures application on the job. Training transfer effectiveness measures sustained performance and business impact. Simple. That's what it is. You can see from progression from training to impact. So we want you to progress from training to impact. And this is the diagram we usually use. Learning, you learn, you apply, your performance improves, your business is impacted. Take it again. You learn, you apply, performance improves, business impact. We have a business impact, sustainable improvement. That's what we want. Now let's go into what we have today. We are talking about the conversations. So why conversations matter? Why do they matter? Conversations are the gateway to training clarity. Don't forget, I'm talking about the 5 things, conversations you should have even before training is approved or designed. Why do conversations matter? 1, conversations are the gateway to training clarity. Conversations are the gateway to transfer success. Conversations are the gateway to return on investment, which is ROI, and return on expectation, which is ROE. So you must have conversations with the people that are your stakeholders. Have conversations with the training sponsors, those that are sponsoring the training. Have conversations with those that have been earmarked for the training. Have conversations with those that have a handshake. The organization, the departments have a handshake. Because if you want to measure, you have to have conversation with the finance people. Because it might be it is finance that will give you the results. Because HR and L&D, you might not be able to get those numbers from where you sit. So where are the departments that will help you with those numbers? Is it the sales department? Is there something in their reports that will help you to show your ROI? Is it from finance? Is it from IT? Where is it from? You must have conversations with those people, stakeholders, that would ensure you're able to show your return on investment, return expectation. Now, I want to believe that you know there's a difference between ROI and ROE. So briefly, let me just say this. I think this is also what we'll also be doing. Yes, I think that's another light bulb moment. The 3 things we'll be doing: reviewing our last week webinar, secondly talking about TTE, then thirdly talking about ROI and ROE, so that we can start having that conversation. So what is ROI? What is ROE? Return on investment is mainly financial returns. Yes, it answers, did the training give us the value back, the money we spent? We spent 1 million on training. Did it give us that money back and the extra and profit upon it? That's what ROI is. So for instance, you spent 5 million on training and your return is 8 million. What's your ROI? Your ROI is 3 million. It gave you an extra 3 million on it. So that's really what ROI is. ROI is quantitative. It is data driven. It is tied to CBA, cost benefit analysis. That is what ROI is. Now, what is ROE? Return on expectation. Let me even ask, how many of us have heard about ROE? Is anybody there? Anybody? Return on expectations? And do you have an idea of what it is? How many of us have heard about ROE and do you have an idea of what it is? Return on expectations. Anybody? If you've not heard of it, say no, I've not. If you've not heard of it, say no, I've not heard of it. Is anybody? Interaction. Don't forget what we say, interaction. Is there anybody? Have you heard of it before? And do you know what it means? Okay, so let me move ahead. So silence means consent. So a lot of persons have not heard of it. Okay, I see something. No, Castro says no. Thank you so much, Castro. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, hello. Who is that speaking?
Emmanuel.
Okay, Emmanuel. Emmanuel is our old. Emmanuel, I know you've heard of it. So Emmanuel is our old webinar attendee. Even Emmanuel is a person that we're starting up our TT Hub in Ghana with. So Emmanuel already knows what it is. Emmanuel, let me pass on you because I know you already know what it is. I wanted to hear from those from those that don't know what it is, since I have just 24 minutes to go. Let me pass on Emmanuel. Emmanuel knows what it is. And I'm proud to say that he's representing the TT Hub in Ghana, the Training Transfer Effectiveness Hub in Ghana. Emmanuel is representing us. So if you're in Ghana and you want to join that TT Hub, please reach out to me. We are creating hubs in every African country. Okay, so ROE. What is ROE? Return on expectation. ROE looks at strategic goals and stakeholder expectations. So for instance, your management says, I need the employees, maybe senior managers, I need them to improve their team collaboration. We are seeing that they don't collaborate as teams. People are working in silos. No more. We don't want that again. We need there to be team collaboration. There should be team collaboration. Tell me how team collaboration is ROI. Is there anybody that wants to tell me the ROI? How is team collaboration ROI? Where is it? How is it ROI? Team collaboration that your CEO is asking for is an expectation. Return on expectation. So I hear people saying that ROE is soft, is difficult to measure. It's a lie. I don't agree with you because we've measured it. Yes, I speak on practical. I speak on what I've done. We've measured it with clients. So ROE can be monetized, can be measured. You just need to set your goals smart and set your KPIs, the metrics you want to use to measure that ROE. So when it says we want more of team collaboration, now you now start diving. What does team collaboration mean? So from that word team collaboration, you bring out the KPI, the metrics to measure what team collaboration means. With that, you can now measure ROE and now get the financial the financial returns from it by finding out the departments that will give you those figures. So that's it. So ROE is qualitative and strategic, and it is very measurable when you structure it well. If you don't structure it well, you will not be able to measure it. So it is strategic and it is non-negotiable. So for me, the Oracle, I advocate for both ROI and ROE. I know people that just advocate for ROI. Well, that's them. But if you know what I know, through research and practice, you will find out that you cannot advocate for only ROI, and you must advocate for both ROI and ROE. Why? ROI tells you the financial story. ROE tells you the leadership story. I'll take that again. ROI tells you the financial story. ROE tells you the leadership story. And if you are missing either one of them, you are not telling the whole truth about your training impact. So you need both of them to tell the truth about your training impact. Okay, so the strategy is not just in your slide, it is in your questions, and that's what I mean by those. So it's in your questions. So now let's look at those 5 questions that you should ask, the 5 conversations before training begins. The first one is business challenge. What is the problem? Can you see where we are going to? Can you see that you're not an order taker again? Can you see that you're a strategic partner? What is the problem? What is the problem? I want to send my people on delegation training. Okay, I hear you. What is the problem? What would this delegation training solve it for the business? What's the business challenge? As a department, what's the objective? How will this training solve the objective for your department? Because if you're able to achieve your departmental objectives, you're invariably achieving your business objectives, because your business objectives are cascaded. During the strategic session, they cascade. The business says their business objectives, and each department, each unit, each region, they take it and it's cascaded down, broken down. So the first conversation, whenever anybody comes to you for a training, they bring a training request to you, the first thing is, what is the problem? The conversation should focus on the business challenge. What's the problem? Then you now ask, is it really a training problem? The model we developed, the needs validation process model, check our YouTube channel and watch it. Check me on LinkedIn, Sandra Ihenacho, and read all that I've written on that, even the white paper. Is it training? Because sometimes it may not be training. The problem may just be a process issue. The problem may just be a cultural issue. The problem may just be a systemic issue. However, but whenever we have a performance gap, what I hear people is, send them on training, send them on training, send them on training, no more. So the first conversation you should always have is, what's the problem? Is it a training issue or is it a non-training issue? The second conversation you should have is, what is the desired change? What should improve on the job? And I'll give you, okay, let me wait and give the example. I'll give the example when I'm talking about the communication. I'll give you a live example. What is the desired change? What should improve on the job? What do we want to see them doing when they come back? I give an example with the customer service. So they go on customer service training. When they come back, what is the behavior they were exhibiting before they went on customer service training? What is the behavior they will start exhibiting when they come back from the customer service training? What should improve on the job? The third conversation you should be having is performance expectations. What will success look like? 1 week down the line, 1 month down the line, 2 months down the line, 3 months down the line. What will success look like? How will you know you've been successful? What are the KPIs to measure? What are the KPIs you use to measure the success? What are the metrics? What are the expectations? Now, the management might say, we want our senior managers to be able to, we want them to start coaching. We want them to use coaching skills. That's an expectation. We want that their people don't need to keep waiting for them every time to tell them what to do. It's already coaching, because coaching, you don't tell, you ask. You empower people to do the work. But we see managers telling. And the day you're not there to tell them, they will not do anything. So this organization is tired that when the managers are not around, no work, people are grounded because people are waiting to be told what to do. And they said, no more. We want that when they come back from this coaching training, their people should be able to take decisions on themselves. Their people should be able to be accountable. Their people should be able to should be proactive. They should not wait for their managers. Those are expectations. That's what they are looking. What will success look like? That's what we want success to look like. The next conversation you should have is stakeholder roles. Who is needed to drive transfer? Line managers, the peer, right? Who are the people to drive this transfer? Have conversations with them. I will need you, line manager, I will need you to help this person succeed. Peers, I will need you to, your team, I will need you to help your team members succeed. What are the stakeholder roles? Who are the people needed to drive the transfer? Then last but not the least, what are the KPIs and baseline data? How will you measure impact? You cannot evaluate what you've not measured. I'll take that again. The oracle said that you cannot evaluate what you have not measured. You must take baseline data. What is the data? So that when you want to evaluate in post-evaluation, you have a baseline data that you're going to compare and contrast to see has something improved. So these are the 5 conversations you must have even before training begins. I hope that helps you. A real world application. A manager says, let me ask now. So your manager says, my supervisors need communication skills training. What is the first conversation you must have? Who wants to share with us? A manager comes to meet you and said, the supervisors under me, these people, they cannot communicate. Oh, Emmanuel, they cannot communicate. Mary, they cannot communicate. Daniel, they cannot communicate. Brian, they cannot communicate. Neptune, Portia, Castro, Doris, they cannot communicate. I need you to send them on communication training. I want to hear from the new timers. Old timers, please don't share yet. Let's hear from the new timers. What will be the first conversation you have with them? With such a manager? Is there anybody that wants to try? Is there anybody that wants to try? Anybody? Okay, I see Neptune said something before. Neptune, where you ask trainees at the start of the training and you find out it matches what you need to pass to them. Okay, this was based on what we were talking about, training effectiveness. Okay, thank you, Neptune. Anybody? Okay, so if there's nobody, because of time, I have just 14 minutes more. It's just what I've said. Start that conversation with them. Use the 5 conversations. The 5 conversations. Don't just, my supervisor needs communication skills training. Straight away, you go and look for who to train them. No, you don't need to do that. Have that conversation with them, right? Okay, while we start wrapping up, the shift from request to diagnosis. Please, I want you to replace, okay, we will train them. They come to meet you and they said, we want you to send our supervisors on communication training. So I said, okay, we'll send them on that training. I want you to change that with, let us explore what is really happening here and how training fits into solving that. You cannot fix a problem you haven't defined, and you shouldn't prescribe what you've not diagnosed. Take that again. I'll take that again. That's a quote by me. You cannot fix a problem you haven't defined, and you shouldn't prescribe what you haven't diagnosed. It's like the doctor. The doctor cannot prescribe any medicine for you, medication for you, until they diagnose it. If they don't diagnose it, they will not prescribe it. It's as simple as that. They run a test and all that. Okay. This is the PDP model, which is our second model. Check our YouTube channel till you see it. The pre-training component talks about the strategic planning based on the MVP. You do MVP first, the stakeholder alignment, baseline KPIs, the readiness of the participant, those that are going for the training, and communication. Have you communicated to them? What would they learn? So the conversations you'll be having and the MVP will feed into this to help you to now start designing the training. Start from pre-training. And I told you there are three phases of training: pre-training, during training, post-training. My challenge for you, between now and next week, this is my challenge for you. Between now and next week, I charge you to initiate one of the 5 conversations before you accept any training request. Please type into chat which of them will you start. I'm not telling you to initiate the 5. I said 1. I don't want you to bite more than you can chew. At least start with 1. Just 1, please. I charge you to initiate one of the 5 conversations before you accept any training request. And you can type into chat what you will initiate. Thank you, Emmanuel. Emmanuel said, yes, I will. Thank you, Emmanuel. So you can type into chat. I'll be checking the chat. What would you initiate? And on this note, we are gradually coming to the end of this webinar. I don't like keeping us more than 1 hour 30 minutes because there are people joining in from Kenya, which is 2 hours, which should be like, this should be like your past 10. Yes, 18 minutes past 10. Yeah. So I don't like keeping you. Thank you for those joining in from Kenya. This is a very big sacrifice to your learning. Don't forget, difficult roads leads to beautiful destination. So at this point in time, are there questions? Q&A. It's time for Q&A. Are there questions? Let me see. Are there questions? I see something in chat. Okay.
Yeah, hello.
Okay, so
Yeah,
let's
Coach.
move ahead if there are no questions.
Coach, I have a question.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much, Emmanuel. Okay, let's go back. So what's your question, please, Emmanuel?
All right. Coach, thank you for the opportunity. So it's good we now know the interaction or conversation to have with key people in the organization, especially the training sponsor. Now I'm asking, should you be dealing with an SME person who has no HR, but doesn't even know how to answer your questions? How do you come in?
So that's why you're a performance consultant. Most micro businesses and small businesses, most of them don't have HR, in-house HR. Small businesses might outsource their HR. I mean, they have a contract staff, someone that comes in once a week or twice a week, right? You have that conversation with them and break it down for them. There was something Coach Lee, what's her name? What can I forget? Coach Lizzie and Coach Margaret Jackson in the radio show I did in Ghana. There was something they said when I was speaking. They said, Coach Sandra, please break down this word to what ordinary people will be able to understand. Some of the words you're using are big, and so this is the same thing I will tell you. Come down to their level and break it down that they would understand what you're saying. Speak their language, explain to them, this is what I mean, this is what I'm saying, this is what you can do, this is what I'm asking for. With that, they will be able to go with you. I don't know if that helps you, Emmanuel.
Yes, please. That's
okay.
good.
Okay, thank you so much, Emmanuel. You're welcome. Okay, so while you're thinking, what is your next line of action? So while you're thinking of your next line of action, you will do, just like I showed you next week, but you do throughout this week till next week and you report next week. This is what I want you to do next week. Before we meet next week, you have to try one practical tip from now until we meet next week and share your experience with us next week, Thursday. Thank you. Neptune says, thanks for the great presentation. Very insightful. You're welcome, Neptune. Thank you. So you have to try one practical tip from now until we meet next week and share your experience with us next week. Please make sure you're here next week. Don't be missing next week, please. Yeah. Then lastly, Thank you, Daniel. Okay. Please don't go yet. We've not ended. Stay till the end. Don't go yet, please. In conclusion, we want to help you. Thank you. Yes, Emmanuel. ROI tells the financial story. ROE tells the leadership story. Yes. And that's by Sandra the Oracle. Yes. So, in conclusion, do you want help in showing ROI and ROE to your business, to your organization? Then talk to me. Talk to us. We can help you build or repair your ecosystem. If you don't have it, we can help you build it. If it's not standing well, we can help you repair it. Another way you can also do it, you can join our mastermind program. I'm going to give Doris very soon, if she's still on the call. I'm going to give her like 30 seconds to talk about her experience in the mastermind. Join us on our mastermind program cohort 2. It starts Monday, October 6th. And also, thirdly, another way, you can invite me to speak with your leadership team. I'll gladly come to speak with them. Reach out. Let us stop training for the sake of training. Let us build for transfer. Let us build for transformation. So now let me give Doris, she's an executive with on our mastermind program cohort 1. Let me give her just 30 seconds to 1 minute to tell us her experience on the mastermind program cohort, and if her investment has been a waste. Is she regretting her investment, or her investment is really an asset to her? It has helped her, is helping her. Doris, if you don't mind, do you want to unmute your microphone?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes, Doris.
Okay. So it's been an exciting journey. So I'm Doris from Ghana at the University of Health and Allied Sciences, the head of the Performance Education and Training Department. So I had the privilege to join the free webinar, I think from February or so. So when the masterclass opportunity came in, I decided to join because I was hungry for more information to develop myself. And being on the program for about 3 weeks now, it has really given me so much insight. So let's say the free webinar it's a preamble. It's a preamble. The master class gives you detailed step by step as to what you will do and guidance. So my investments is an asset, I would say, because I'm really developing myself, and I'm able to apply it, all that we've learned so far. I've been able to apply it at my workplace, and it's been helping. It's very important. So if we should try as much as possible to join the second cohort, it will give us so much benefit and a competitive advantage at our various places of work. Thank you very much, Sandra, for the opportunity. I'm glad.
Thank you so much, Doris. And I like what Doris said. Doris, I'm taking this word. You know, you're the one that talked about medical, and I used your medical in example in our class. Now you said something, competitive advantage, and I'm taking that. Please, Doris, permit me.
That's
yes. Thank you. Mastermind gives you a competitive advantage over your peers, and gives you an advantage to be able to get better in what you do. Doris has said it all. I don't need to speak about it again because of time. I have just 4 minutes more. And lastly, I'm saying old ways won't open new doors. No. Old ways won't open new doors. And that is what Doris and the other executives on cohort 1 did. They joined Mastermind because they left the old way. They had to start a new way, stop the old way, started a new way. And that's why she's having the new door she's opening. And I say every impact-driven training starts with a bold conversation. And every week I have a quote, and this is my quote for this week. Every powerful training outcome begins with a courageous conversation. Don't wait to be told what to do. Lead the dialogue that drives impact. And that's me, Sandra the Oracle, Africa's leading voice on training transfer effectiveness. And this is the mastermind that Doris was talking about. It's an 18 weeks program. And the cohort 2 starts October 6th, Monday, October 6th. And we have a plan to help you to be able to pay for the investment. These are what the executives have been saying. The first question we asked them was, how useful was the session in helping you reflect on training impact in your organization? 33.333% of executives answered very useful. 66.67% of the executives answered extremely useful. We asked another question to the executive, and we asked them, we said, to what extent to what extent do you feel equipped to apply what you learned to your current work context? 33% of the executives answered confidence. 66.6% of the executives answered fully confident. This is data. We are talking about data. And another question we asked them again, we said, what is the most valuable concept or insight you got from the session? Some said, every insight shared during the session was valuable. Another said, permit me to state two. 1, business objectives clarification. We talked about that. 2, training effectiveness, training transfer, and training transfer effectiveness. Another said training scrap. I didn't talk about training scrap here. If you watch the YouTube video, you see it. It said the portion of unapplied information from training. Then the last question we shared again with them, and this is what they told us, said, what was the most valuable concept or insight you got from the session? Some said the groundwork strategy is insightful. I can't talk about it here. We talk about it in the mastermind. Tailoring my conversation with stakeholders to speak their language and moving beyond training requests to performance-driven alignment to position training as a solution to business needs. This is what they said. I did not say it. We did not say it. Another said engaging stakeholders. Another said the concept of moving from being an order taker to a performance enabler. So you can see that we've already done it in the mastermind. Yeah. So being the concept of what? Moving from being an order taker to a performance enabler. And so the cohort 2 starts October 6th, Monday, October 6th, and this is the fee. It is $1,500. That's the fee for cohort 2. So we have a plan. I think 3 plan. I didn't put it up here. In the next webinar, I'll put it up, whereby you can start paying from August. 20%. You pay August, September, October, November, December. 5 times. You can pay 5 times. We have a plan for 4 months. You start in August, 25%, August, September, October, November. Or you start with September, wherever you start, 25%. Well, that's 4 months. You can decide, okay, since it's starting October, so let me go back. So since it's starting October, some people might want to start paying from now, from August. August, September, October, November, December. That's 5 times, 20%. You're able to pay up. We are starting October. You can start paying from August. August, September, October, November. No, from September. So September, October, November, December. That's 4 times, 25% each. By December, you'd have finished paying. You want to start paying from September. No, from October, which you are starting, you pay 50%, November 25%, December 25%. That makes you to be able to complete your payments. So we have 4 ways to pay. And if you have the money, you want to pay straight up immediately, it's fine. So reach out to us, send us an email. You can see our email there already, info@mbrandconsultinggroup.com, and subject is mastermind, and we can enroll you for cohort 2. We've started taking entries now, slots. The slots are limited. We have a class size. After that, we close, and that's why we have to close for cohort 1. We have a class size so that we can have time for everyone and ensure that you're able to show return on investment, return on expectation for your training initiative, your training investment. So what we are doing is that they are taking a capstone project. Like now, I'm working with Doris already and all the other executives. They are choosing a training in a department or unit in their business, and we are using them every week. We are applying everything they learn. At the end, they are going to come back to tell you the ROI and ROE they got from their training investments. So please ensure you join this mastermind, join the cohort 2. And last but not the least, we also have our conference coming up. Yay! Something, let's have the tadan. The very first conference in the world. Africa is setting the pace. Yes. Training Transfer Effectiveness Conference has never been held in the world. Africa, we are setting the pace. We are having the very first conference. It's called the International Training Transfer Effectiveness Conference. Please give me extra 5 minutes. I've gone over time. Permit me, I'm so sorry, please. 5 minutes, I'll wrap up. It is going to hold in Lagos, Nigeria, November 13 and 14. And it's a hybrid conference. So for those that cannot come from Kenya, Tanzania, America, UK, Uganda, Ghana, you don't need to come to Nigeria. Just come virtually. Pay for the virtual space. You will get the same experience. So start registering now before it is too late for you. And that's what we wanted to share. And these are our lineup of speakers from various parts of the world. We have Melanie. She's joining in from Switzerland. She's coming in, not joining, she's coming in the way from Switzerland. She has bought her ticket already. We have Tom coming all the way from the US. We have Anna coming all the way from Germany. These are in those worlds. These are transfer effectiveness people. They eat transfer, they sleep transfer. And we have our African counterparts coming to have this conversation. And all those certifications you saw me dealing out, I'm sure they were saying, Coach Sandra, these your certifications are too much. You can get it. So for all those that will be attending the conference, either virtually or physically, you have the opportunity of getting over 20 to 50% discount on this. Right now, I'm doing the silver, Kirkpatrick silver. I'm paying over $2,000 something. Go to their website and see it. $2,000 something for the silver, yes. And I'm paying. But you are coming to this conference because you joined this conference, you're not going to be paying that. The bronze is over 2,000 too, but you're not going to be paying that. You're going to be paying less than that. So hinge on this certification, Certified Transfer Designer by the Institute for Transfer Effectiveness, Kirkpatrick Bronze Certification by Kirkpatrick Partners, Accelerated Learning Certification by the Center for Accelerated Learning, and the IFC LPI TPMA Trainer Certification by the IFC and by the LPI. Do not miss this. Finally, be happy and feel good about yourself always. Thank you for being with me, and it has been a pleasure. And I remain Coach Sandra Ihenacho, aka the Oracle, Africa's leading voice on training transfer effectiveness. That's my mobile number, LinkedIn, IG, X, and my email. Most times I'm on LinkedIn. I can't remember when last I went to IG or X. So let me stop sharing. I don't know if there are any feedback from anybody before I stop the recording and now stay back to take your questions. Anybody, is there anything you want to say? Feedback? Those that join for the first time, any feedback for your learning? Any feedback you have? Emmanuel,
No.
Okay, Emmanuel are the old people. Before I call on Emmanuel and Doris, Neptune, Castro, Brian, Mary, are there feedback from you before I call on my old attendees? Are there feedbacks? You can type into chat if you don't want to unmute your microphone. I know that it may be late now for those in Kenya. This is already 10:35 to 11. Yeah, to 11. Okay. If no feedback for our new people, thank you, so Emmanuel. Doris. Okay, Castro says, "I'm glad." Let me read what Castro wrote. I just saw it. Castro says, "I'm glad I'm incited and my mind has added something." Thank you so much, Castro. And Emmanuel says, "Thank you so much, Castro, for that. I sincerely appreciate you." Emmanuel said, "What's the problem? It may be a leadership problem, a system problem, a process problem, a cultural problem, or a training problem." Yes, Emmanuel, it could be that. Okay, so let's close the curtain. Okay, Doris wanted to say something. Okay, Doris, before we close the curtain, let me hear it from you. Okay.
Okay, so this session is both the free webinar and the mastermind class has been very helpful. So I would say I have moved now from other takers to a strategic partner.
Yay!
So any training request that comes to my desk now, I ask, what is the problem? What are you which gap are you trying to fill? What is the issue? Those questions, you have to provide them and answer them. What are you expecting? What will success look like when the people come back? Not just saying, okay, let me just write to registrar and ask for approval for the people to go. No, we have moved from that place. So it's been an insightful journey, and I'm glad.
Thank you.
Glad. My director
Please say that again, Doris. What did your director say?
Has been very supportive. So when the request comes, he sent it to me, stated, but I need to look at it and see. And he knows I'll come up with the same issue for them. So
okay, I hope you heard what Doris said. I know her line is breaking, but I hope you heard what she said.
Whether the
Doris, continue.
HOD will be able to actually tell us what he wants.
Okay, so let me relate what Doris is saying.
Result in training scrap.
Okay, so Doris said that even her director is very proud of her, is very glad on what she's doing. That whenever there's a training request, he pushes it back to Doris because he says he knows that Doris will come up with something to ask those questions so that there will be no training scrap. So I am proud of you, Doris. Thank you so much. You're one of the people I'm proud of. Yourself, Emmanuel, that doing things differently. Thank you so much. And I see Brian said it has been an enlightening topic and discussion. Thank you. And Emmanuel said, God bless you, coach. The momentum of the learning in this webinar keeps increasing. Thank you so much, Emmanuel. And so at this point, I want to say thank you so much, everyone.